A young dinosaur is ambushed and swallowed in a single bite. The others scatter in shock, for the hunter is not a dinosaur, but the devil frog, one of the largest frogs ever to exist. After such a meal, this giant amphibian can survive for weeks without food. But 66 million years ago, danger was everywhere, especially along the shores of Madagascar. At last, rain returns after months of drought. The parched land breathes again as rivers and ponds refill, drawing life back to the wetlands. Dinosaurs return to the water, but so do the hidden monsters. Among them, the devil frog, rising from the mud after months unseen, larger and stronger than before. This male frog is not here to hunt, but to find a mate. To succeed, he must choose the perfect place, for females are picky and time is short. His deep call rumbles across the swamp, echoing far and wide. But instead of a female, it first attracts something else: giant predators on the move. Titan-sized sauropods push through the mud, crushing everything in their path. The small pool is quickly taken over by herds of massive horned dinosaurs. Outnumbered and outmatched, the frog has no choice. Time is running out, for breeding happens only during the rainy season. If he fails now, he must wait a year. Driven by instinct, he leaps away, seeking a new pond farther ahead. The path is dangerous, but for survival and love, he has no other option. On the way, he narrowly avoids giants and predators alike. Fortune favors him. At last, he finds a new pond, though danger still lurks nearby. A curious dinosaur notices him, a creature hundreds of times his size. But the devil frog lives up to its name, standing firm, fearless, and unyielding. As he calls again, noise from a passing herd of titans drowns his voice. Luckily, they soon leaving behind great muddy footprints filled with rainwater. For the frog, these footprints become perfect pools. Here, he begins his call once more, marking the start of the breeding season for his kind. But Madagascar holds more than frogs and dinosaurs. Strange armored reptiles called Simosuchus roam the island, small but well protected from attack. They live in groups, guarding one another. Some rest, while others stand watch, ready to dive into burrows if danger approaches. And danger is never far away. The island's apex predator, Majungasaurus, prowls nearby. This female is half-blind and starving, desperate for a meal. She targets the small Simosuchus. They retreat into tunnels, blocking entrances with armored backs, leaving one unlucky straggler exposed and alone. Cornered, the little reptile fights back, lashing its tail in a comical but bold defense. For a moment, even the mighty Majungasaurus hesitates. It finally escapes into safety, the predator left frustrated. Once again, the armored herbivores prove that size is not the only shield in this land of giants. Yet Simosuchus are not the only unique creatures here. Early mammals also thrive, small, strange, and unlike anything alive today. One such creature, later named the crazy beast, is no larger than a rabbit, yet it is one of the biggest mammals of its age. She guards her nest deep underground. After weeks of care, her eggs finally hatch. Blind, tiny infants emerge, searching instinctively for milk, the beginning of the mammalian story. Her milk sustains them as they grow quickly. But raising them is exhausting. She must forage each night, leaving the young alone and vulnerable in the burrow. One night, danger comes. A slender predator slips its long neck deep into the tunnel, hunting for the helpless young inside. But in this world, hunters too must beware. A giant snake, nearly 8 meters long, coils through the shadows, striking with crushing power. It suffocates its prey before swallowing whole. On this island, every inch is filled with peril. One mistake means the end. At last, under the cover of darkness, the mammal mother leads her young out of the burrow for the first time. The night is dangerous, but it also holds hope. With their armored backs pressed against the entrance of the burrow, the Simosuchus blocked the way to keep predators out, but one unlucky youngster was left exposed, too slow to find shelter and with his den already occupied. Cornered and desperate, he refused to surrender and lashed out with a powerful whip of his tail, a move that looked clumsy and even comical, yet it startled the much larger Majungasaurus, who hesitated just long enough for the little croc to dash into safety. The predator tried to push its wide snout into the burrow, but it was simply too big to reach inside, and though scratched and frustrated, it had no choice but to abandon the hunt. Deep inside, the young Simosuchus dug further into the earth to make the burrow even safer, and so, for the Majungasaurus, this chase ended in failure. But Madagascar was full of unique survivors, and reptiles were not the only inhabitants of this strange island. Another lineage had already begun to emerge, the earliest mammals. They were so different from anything else that scientists would later call them the crazy beasts. One female, less than 60 centimeters long yet still among the largest of her kind, spent most of her time searching for food to nourish the next generation. At the end of a long, winding tunnel lay her nest and a clutch of fragile eggs. After weeks of patient care, the eggs began to stir, and tiny hatchlings broke free. Their eyes were sealed shut, but guided by instinct, they crawled to their mother to drink the milk she secreted from specialized glands. This milk sustained them as they grew, and within 2 months their bodies had swelled to 4 times their birth size. To feed such demanding mouths, the mother needed to consume huge amounts of food, forcing her to leave the safety of the burrow every night. Like many nocturnal animals, her vision was poor, and she relied instead on her sharp hearing, freezing motionless whenever danger approached. More often than not, she went unnoticed, surviving to dig for roots and seeds in the soil. Meanwhile, her hungry offspring grew restless. Their appetites increased daily, and while their mother foraged, they remained alone in the nest, completely unprotected. That vulnerability did not go unnoticed, for Madagascar had no shortage of hunters. A sleek predator known as Masiakasaurus, with its slender neck and narrow skull, was perfectly adapted to probe deep into burrows to snatch hidden prey. Yet even hunters were never truly safe. In this prehistoric land, the predator could just as easily become the hunted. Lurking nearby was a giant serpent, the nearly 7.6-meter-long Madtsoia, which killed by coiling its muscular body around its victim, suffocating it before swallowing it whole. Every inch of this island was a theater of constant danger, where life and death balanced on the smallest misstep. And so, as night finally fell, the mother ventured out with her young for the very first time, stepping into a world filled with both peril and possibility, where every moment promised both risk and hope for the future. And as I reflect on this ancient world, I can't help but feel awe at how even the smallest creatures fought bravely for survival, carving out a place in a land ruled by giants. Their struggles remind us that resilience is not only measured by size or strength, but by determination, adaptability, and the will to protect the next generation. At Jurassic and Beyond, we believe these stories are more than history, they are lessons that still echo through time, inspiring us to value life, to respect nature, and to keep exploring the mysteries of prehistory together. Support our Team Jurassic and Beyond to enjoy more amazing videos about prehistoric life. Thank you for being with us.